Yeah, what's up guys, Wakuzi here, and today I have a slightly different video for you. We are going to do the Spiral Abyss. Don't worry if you're only interested in the Fontaine exploration series, we are going to get back to that one with the next video, but for now we will focus on the Abyss. I have recorded my entire playthrough for the Abyss and I will explain to you why I use specific characters, what you should pay attention to when it comes to the enemies and so on. I did the complete Abyss, even floor 12 with 9 stars, so there should be something here for all types of players, no matter how far you have progressed in the game. Alright, so first up we have this Resets Blessing. The blessing this time isn't really that special. Whenever you use a normal charge or plunging attack, you get 1 stack. Once you have 6 stacks, you will unleash a shockwave, dealing true damage. Whenever you switch your characters, you will lose all stacks. So a kinda difficult blessing to play around, so you don't really have to pay attention to that one. When it comes to floor 9, generally speaking, it shouldn't be that much of a problem. If it is for some reason, then it's more likely related to your characters, right? They are not leveled, they don't have good artifacts or weapons, all of that stuff. So if floor 9 is a challenge, and the same applies more or less to floor 10 and 11 as well, then go ahead and level your characters first, right? We are talking about talents, artifacts, all of that stuff. But generally speaking, once you level those, you shouldn't have a problem with floor 9, 10 and 11. One more thing though, for floor 9, there is one Hydro Abyss Mage in there, so you should use at least one Dendro or Cryo character. You could also use Pyro and Electro, but Dendro and Cryo are the best when it comes to dealing with Hydro shields. Other than that, that floor shouldn't be that much of a challenge. Next up we have floor 10, and once again, like I said, floor 10 and even floor 11 shouldn't be that much of a challenge. In floor 10 you have a few Fatui in there, so you once again have to take care of shields, but that is generally speaking it. You can see a clear, how do we say it, a clear intention here behind the floors up until 12, which is simply to test the players' know-how when it comes to mechanics in the game, right? Do you know how to take care of shields? You're good to go. Do you know how to dodge certain abilities or how to stun certain enemies? You're good to go, right? Floor 11 also introduces a little bit of a DPS check, but not really that much. Only floor 12 is a big DPS check. Other than that, floor 9, 10 and 11 shouldn't really be that much of a problem. And if you go even below floor 9, 1 to 8 are more like a challenge to see how a player is progressing in the game, right? So yeah, let us skip floor 11 and let us talk about floor 12 now. When it comes to floor 12, things get interesting as usual. Floor 12 is always a challenge, sometimes more, sometimes less, and everyone who says otherwise is either lying or paid to win. The first thing we need to pay attention to here is Chamber 1, because this time Chamber 1 is actually the most challenging one. In the background you can see my entire clear of floor 12 with 9 stars, and I will just let it play out while I explain a few mechanics and tricks in order to make it easier for you. Chamber 1 has 3 things you need to pay attention to. For the first half you have Abyss Hounds, which you need to group up. If you don't do that, you will lose out on too much time, as such characters like Kazuha, Venti and Sucrose are essential for your composition. The DPS characters can be whoever you have. Personally I use Nahida and HoyoMix, but any other character works fine as well. The only thing you need though is a Hydro character due to the Pyro Lector. A slight tip here, when it comes to the Lector and the 2 rules, DPS the Lector first in order to proc his shield, after that you can focus on the 2 rules. Keep in mind that the Lector eventually is going to summon a core. If you kill that one, you do massive damage to his shield, so you absolutely have to do that. Otherwise, if you have enough damage, you should be fine with the first half of Chamber 1. When it comes to the second half, the first 2 sets of monsters aren't really that problematic. Kill them as soon as you can and try to dodge the bishop's attacks, because those reduce your energy. The third set is where things get difficult. You have 2 heal heroics and 1 lava pool. Sometimes they simply refuse to group up, and if that is the case, you might have to restart your run. Or you can use characters like Nahida for this half, because she can link all 3 of them together. Animal characters work too, but are more effective in the first half. This is more or less a damage check, so kill your enemies as soon as you can and you are good to go. Once you get to Chamber 2, especially if you manage to get 3 stars during Chamber 1, you have more or less cleared this version of the Spiral Abyss. Chamber 2 and 3 aren't really that challenging, yet there are a few tips I can give you in order to make it easier. For the first half, the first set of enemies has 2 Fatui agents. They spawn on the opposite side of the room from each other, and you need to group them up in order to make your clear a little bit faster. There are 2 ways of doing so. The first one is to use an animal character, use your elemental skill in order to get one of them closer to the middle, and after that you reposition yourself and use your elemental skill in order to hit both of them. The other way is to use the agent's mechanics. They have a jump ability that they use whenever you are too close to them, and they always jump away from you. You can use that to your advantage. Just let them jump towards the middle of the room and you should have no problem when it comes to clearing those enemies. When it comes to the second set of enemies, there isn't really that much to pay attention to. Just kill them as soon as you can. The only mob that might be troublesome is the big guy, because he does a whirlwind attack and that one does a lot of damage. So try to dodge that one. Other than that, you shouldn't have any problems when it comes to the first half of Chamber 2. The second half is a damage check. It is one of the world bosses you can fight in the desert, and it doesn't really have that many dangerous mechanics. The only thing you need to be aware of though is that you need an electro character in order to break the stealth modus of the Tomb Guard. Other than that, use your best DPS characters to defeat it. And finally, Chamber 3. The first half can be a little bit annoying due to the Crystal Maiden. She can teleport away from you and there's usually nothing you can do against it. Thankfully the other enemies are normal enemies. They might be enhanced, but usually their damage output is not high enough to be problematic. You also have a matriarch enemy here. She summons a big ad, and if you kill that one you stun her. While she's stunned she takes more damage, so use that to your advantage. When it comes to the second half, you have two big bishops here. The most common problem that I see when it comes to these enemies is that A, people have too much respect when it comes to their attacks. You can tank a few of those, it's no problem, you are fine. You can even stand within their AoE zones if you have an active heal ability, in my case Bennett's Elemental Burst. And B, people pay too much attention to killing them at the same time. While it is true that they need to die around the same time, otherwise they will revive, the timer itself is fairly forgiving, so don't stress about it too much. Bring them down to around 25% HP and then simply focus down one of them and then the other by using your Elemental Burst. And with that, you have completed this version of the Spiral Abyss, and hopefully even with 9 stars. I will just let the rest of the fight play out. If the video was helpful, leave a like, comment or sub, and other than that, have a great day or night wherever you live. Bye bye.